News tonight, the fight to move forward, new protests demanding states reopen businesses, the governors pushing back, and the ones easing restrictions starting tomorrow as the death toll hits nearly 40,000 in the U.S. The battle is shifting. New York now likely through the worst of it.
So the recent news is good. The numbers are coming down.
But Los Angeles hits its highest death toll yet, and in Massachusetts, new cases surge. The obituary pages there seemingly endless. Where are the tests? Governors blast the White House saying there's not enough. The president says they should get their own. More money. The New Deal in Washington for another round of relief funds. More cash for small businesses. But will there be another $1,200 check for you? And love on the front lines. The story behind this photo that has inspired so many. The married couple who volunteered for dangerous duty together.
This is NBC Nightly News with Kate Snow.
Good evening. I'm Jose Diaz-Balart in for Kate. We'll hear from her later in the show, but we begin with breaking news, a grim milestone for our country. The death toll today hitting 40,000. That's twice what it was just last weekend. And as cases surge, there are defiant new calls to open up communities. We have a lot to cover tonight with our correspondents and begin with Aaron McLaughlin in Los Angeles.
Tonight, across the country, more protests capping a weekend of discontent. Calls to end economic lockdown.
Freedom is what we want. Freedom is what we demand.
Protests fueled by the president himself, calling for states such as Michigan, hard hit by COVID-19, to be liberated. Some labeling the president's response dangerous and clashing with his own guidelines.
Under those guidelines, you need to see a decline in the infections and fatalities, and that simply has not happened yet.
This, as some state governors say, before they can begin to reopen, more testing capacity is needed, calling on the federal government to help.
We're fighting a biological war. We've been asked, by the way, as governors, to fight that war without the supplies we need.
Every governor in America has been pushing and fighting and clawing to get more tests.
Sunday morning, President Trump telling governors to step up. Vice President Pence saying there's plenty of testing.
We have a sufficient capacity of testing today for any state in America to move into phase one and begin the process of reopening their state and their economy.
But scientists tell a different story. According to the COVID tracking project, 150,000 diagnostic tests happen in the U.S. each day. Harvard researchers estimate in order to safely reopen the economy, that number needs to triple.
We've been kind of plateaued at that for about 2-3 weeks. It's mainly because we've just had no federal leadership on this issue. It's crazy that we have shut our economy down because we don't have enough nasal swabs.
Despite testing troubles, some states looking to lift restrictions, in line with the White House draft plan advising some areas to begin reopening after May 1st. Vermont and Texas to reopen some businesses as early as tomorrow. Other states, including North Dakota, Ohio, and Idaho, could begin by May 1st.
This will not be an opening of the floodgates. Instead, we will slowly turn on the spigot, a quarter turn at a time.
This is a new national NBC News Wall Street Journal poll says nearly 60% of Americans are more concerned the U.S. will move too quickly to loosen restrictions, causing more COVID-19 deaths, and take too long lifting restrictions, negatively impacting the economy.